Welcome back, everyone, to part 4 of this topic in practical electricity. In the previous videos lesson, we looked at part 3, which is all about the dangers of electricity. Now we're going to look at how electrical appliances are designed and some of the things that we do in order to make electricity safe to be used at home. So, as you know, electricity can be dangerous. Now you will learn about the electric wiring at your home and how it is designed to ensure safe use. So in this part, you're going to learn about 6 things that makes electricity safe to use at home. Now this is quite a long part of the topic. So we're just going to divide this part into 2 further parts. Okay. So for this first video lesson, we're going to only go through the first 3 parts: plugs and sockets, earthing and double insulation, and then the video lesson after this we're going to focus on the next 3 parts. Otherwise, it's going to be a long video. Okay, so let's start. So, plugs and sockets. So, in Brunei, we use a 3-pin plug. This is what we call a plug. And the place where you insert the plug is called the socket. And the pins of the plugs have special names. The one at the top is called the earth pin. The one on the right is called the live pin, and the one on the left is called the neutral pin. Okay, and this is where they go in the socket. So this is what the inside of the plug looks like. So you have the live wire, which is attached to the live pin, and we're going to talk about what it's for very soon. And the live wire is usually colored brown or red, okay, just to identify that that's the live wire. And then connected to the live wire is the fuse, is this thing here. And again, we're going to talk about the fuse in this very topic. And then you have this green and yellow wire here, and this is the earth wire, and the earth wire connects to the earth pin. And then the neutral wire here is usually blue or black, and that's connected to the neutral pin. And then everything is tucked into this layer of insulation. Usually it's rubber or some sort of plastic, and tied together with a cable grip. So for your exam, make sure you know the placement of these wires, the names of these wires, and also their colors. So what is the function of these wires? The live wire is connected to the generators of the power station, and it is usually at a voltage of 230 volts or 240 volts, depending on which country you are. So the live wire is where the electricity comes from. Okay, so you can think of it like that. That's where electricity comes into that appliance. The neutral wire is just the opposite of the live wire. So the neutral wire returns electricity to the generator after it has passed the appliance. So the neutral wire completes the circuit. So you can think of it like this. The electricity comes in through the live wire and then goes into the appliance and then goes out through the neutral wire. So you can also think of it like the live wire as the positive terminal, even though it's not really it, and the neutral wire as the negative terminal, okay, even though they're not actually terminal. And the earth wire is there as a safety feature. It's connected to the body of the appliance. Electricity moves back to the ground or earth through this wire. So we'll talk about this. What is this for very soon? So what if the earth wire and the live wire are swapped? So if you accidentally swap these 2 wires and connect it to the wrong pin, the appliance will not work, but the electrons may flow to the metal body of the appliance through the earth wire and may cause the body to become charged. Another question you might ask, the neutral wire and the live wire, what happens if they are swapped? If they are swapped, then it's just the electricity is going to flow in the opposite direction. Light bulbs, for example, will still work because for light bulbs, it doesn't matter which direction electricity flows. As long as there's electricity, it will still work. However, electric motors and other complex appliances may not work properly. For motors or fans, for example, they may rotate in the opposite direction, okay, because the direction of electricity is swapped because you're swapping the neutral wire and the live wire. The next thing we'll talk about is earthing and what the earth wire is for. So imagine you have an appliance with a metal casing. If there is a fault in the wiring, electricity may flow to the casing. Let's say you have a washing machine and it's made out of metal. And here you have a circuit. there's a live wire here and there's a neutral wire. So the current goes through the live wire and into the circuit here. And this circuit is a motor. And then it goes back out through the neutral and back to the power station. And then let's say there's an electrical fault with the live wire, especially. Let's say originally the live wire is through this dotted line here, but now there's something wrong with the live wire. Maybe it's broken, maybe there's a tear, and that allows it to be in contact with the metal body of this washing machine. So what's going to happen? Now the electricity or the electrons, the electrical charges, instead of going through the circuit, they will now go into the body of the appliance, okay? Because the body of the appliance is made out of metal. Now, because the electricity is going through the metal body of this appliance, this can be very dangerous. So what happens if you touch it? When you touch it, the electricity inside the body of the appliance will now go through you and will electrocute you. Okay, so this can be very dangerous, right? So touching the appliance then would get you electrocuted. So the purpose of the earth wire is to provide a safe route for the current to leak away from faulty appliances and into the ground or earth. This is called earthing. If an appliance is earth, that means it has an earth wire. When an electrical fault occurs, the electricity may flow into the earth wire and into the ground and not to the person touching it. So now let's look at this example again. This time, this washing machine is equipped with an earth wire. And just for sake of reference, and if you remember from the previous topics of static electricity, the earth wire has this sort of symbol here. That means the wire is connected to the ground or to the earth. So now, because this motor has an earth wire, let's say there's an electrical fault, the charges now goes to the body of the appliance, but the charges will not stay there. The charges will then can go through the earth wire and can go to the earth. So that means there is no buildup of electricity or buildup of electrons in the metal body of the appliance. So when this person touches the washing machine, he or she will be safe. Okay, and this is why anything or any appliance with a metal body should have an earth wire. In fact, all high-powered electrical appliances usually have a 3-pin plug. They usually have an earth wire just to keep them safe. These are appliances like your air conditioner, like your heater, your washing machine. So these are high-powered appliances that needs a lot of electricity to run, and therefore these appliances usually have 3-pin plugs. Now, for low power appliances like your phones, maybe your hairdryer, the radio, they have something we call double insulation. And anything with double insulation has this symbol at the back of it just to tell you that it's double insulated. Okay, so however, there are also appliances not supplied with an earth wire, meaning these appliances only have 2-pin plugs instead of the 3-pin plugs. So if it is not earth, how do we protect the user? The answer to this is double insulation. So what this means is that the appliance provides 2 levels of insulation. One is in the cable. The wires are inside the cable. The cable is made out of an insulator, usually rubber or plastic, like is mentioned here in number 1. And then secondly, the internal components are also insulated from the external casing. And usually appliances with double insulation normally have non-metallic casings, for example, plastic. So that's why anything with a 2-pin plug, for example, radios, hair dryers, or the blender, these things have 2-pin plugs. Okay, because they are not a high-powered appliance, but just in case, in order to put extra protection, we give them double insulation. That means the wires are insulated, the circuit is insulated, and also the body of the appliance is made out of an insulator. Usually it's plastic or sometimes rubber. Okay, so to summarize this video lesson, we looked at 3 safety features of electricity at home: plugs and sockets, earthing, and double insulation. When it comes to the plugs and sockets, what you need to know for your exam is you need to know what the inside of a plug looks like, the placement of the wires, the placement of the fuse, and also the colors of the wires. And then make sure you understand what the live wire does, what the neutral wire does, and what the earth wire does. And then make sure you know the meaning of double insulation. So that means everything is insulated, everything is made out of plastic usually.